Now, let's just give you an example. In Pleadian, hiawaha is one phrase. Here's another. Hiawaha. One means good morning, and the other one means you don't look so good. It's subtle, isn't it? Did you notice the that's Pleadian. The tones are not simply sacred sounds that you are putting together to create other energies. They are Pleadian greetings, dear ones. You are singing to them in their language. What do you think? What do you think? Is it any wonder that they're excited? Not only have you awakened, but you have a Lemurian priest. A Lemurian priest who had a Pleadian mother who was remembering the tones and the language of his planet that his mother taught him when he was small. That is what you're doing. This is the awakening that the mountain is sensing. It is no wonder they're excited. There's more. And it continues. So much beautiful information to impart to you. This is year one. And we keep saying that because there is already a model that has been set many times in this galaxy of what takes place within a planet that has been seeded by another, allowed with free choice to get to a place or not where it would wake up to its own consciousness and decide to change. I would love to give you a biology lesson. And it's one that scientists may not agree with. And yet there are things they cannot deny that they see. And they search for answers that are not there. You don't have human DNA. Ever since DNA was identified and chromosomes could be looked at closely, there was the awareness of the fusion of chromosome 2. Fused with chromosome 3, some say, gave humanity a completely different set of chromosomes than the common ones of other mammals, especially those who look like you would be apes. You have 23 pair instead of the common 24. And if you stopped right there and looked at that in an esoteric fashion, and we invite you to, there is numerology everywhere. For chromosomes 2 and 3 would equal a 5, giving you 23 pairs, which equals a 5, and 5 means change. It's an invitation to change your DNA. Not chemically. For DNA, chemically, is complete. The invitation to change your DNA is quantumly. Consciousness is quantum. It is not three-dimensional. It is an attribute, an element, a confluence with the chemistry that gives you even power over physics. I invite you right now to look at your history. What is the history of the masters of the planet? What did they show you? What did they do? Did they do anything unusual? Did some of them, like, for instance, change physics, walk on water, create things that were not there a moment before? What does this tell you? Are you just going to call it a miracle, thank you, God, and walk away? Or are you going to say, this was an example of a human being with a DNA that was different, enhanced, perhaps even operating at its fullest Pleadian level? There was even one early on who chose his own ascension time. Did not leave evidence of death, not even a body. These were the masters of the planet showing you change. Now I would like to invite you to know more about Pleadian DNA. Human beings are biased. How would you like to know about high Pleadian technology? You, human being, are looking for devices, aren't you? You've got to have an outside of consciousness, device-driven technology married with what you do corporeally in order to give you high technology. What if I told you the Pleiadians never did that? First of all, you should know this. The Pleiadian civilization is 10 times longer than yours. Now that varies depending upon which Pleiadian planet you're talking about, and there were 3, for they had 9 stars. And if I told you what it was, you wouldn't understand. Culturally, humanity is far different than other planets. Even cultures within humanity are different. You have what is called human nature. The Pleiadians did not go that route. They did not go down the technology route with devices and things. They went right to consciousness. An elevated consciousness will turn in on itself and marry with physics. It will not go out of itself and create a device. It will create its own technology within itself. There have been critics who would say that Lemurians, no matter how high their mountain was, could never have super cold technology. They could not have had a temple of rejuvenation because they didn't have the equipment. And that is a human bias, you see. You're device-driven, aren't you? The Pleiadians didn't need it. What did the masters of the planet show you again? What was their device when they created something out of nothing? What was their device that they used to walk on water? What was the device used to ascend at the right moment? The device was consciousness. It was built in. It was elevated consciousness that understood and could manipulate physics. The Pleiadians, I've said this before, if you see ships in the mountain, they're illusions created for you because that's what you want to see. They don't need it. Pleiadian consciousness controls physics. They entangle themselves with whatever it is they need to. They can be here or anywhere and be several places at the same time. Physicists, you know what I'm talking about. It is so different from you. Now let me tell you the rest of the story. A Pleiadian mother sings a lullaby to her child. Not just a song, not something simply passed down and beautiful. The lullaby she sings to her song, the song that she sings to her child, is a healing song. Right from birth, the Pleadian mother is healing her child, imbuing into the child the same kind of biological protection from a very high technology of consciousness that you can't understand without devices at all. Now, what did I tell you the last time I stood here? You are singing the lullaby. You are singing their language. Do you think there is a possibility that it affects your DNA? And whose DNA is it that you have exactly? Do you see what I'm saying? The Pleiadian DNA within you is awakening at the same time the mountain is. This is a healing meeting, and I want you to take advantage of it. Your belief enhances every corporeal structure you have. It sees what you believe. It starts to elevate itself because you own the belief. It starts to build bridges in its own consciousness, its own cellular structure that will keep disease away and healing that which is there. Do I have to tell you how many people are in here? Shall I identify it? Who've come for healing? There's a lot of you. And so I'm just going to tell you, you are in the right place at the right time. It's not just tones. Think for a moment of your ancestors, the ancients. Think even perhaps of your seed biology, singing you the lullaby to heal your body, to live longer. I want you to leave this place differently than you came. And for today, I say, so it is.